Hello, everyone, and welcome once again. You've been waiting, and now it's here, the official Speed Report, brought to you by 105 The Drive. I am your host, Sam Cook. If you are interested in joining the league, please message me here on Xbox, SamCook2728785, or leave a comment down below for you guys here on Twitch Monster 27, and you guys that are going to be there watching later on YouTube on 105 The Drive. Also, you can check out everything KMR on the official website, www.thegamingriff.com. I'm joined along with Fractured Chain, our official broadcaster for the Trucks and X series.
Finally.
And also our defending series champion, Daytona 500 defending series champion as well. Well, actually, no, but the defending league champion, Paintbrush. Thanks for joining us, Paint.
How's everybody doing?
Basement.
All right. So we start this broadcast first with some real-life news that we're happy to give you. Just for anyone who has been keeping up with Ryan Newman, it's just awesome after that wreck to see him walk out of the hospital holding his two daughters' hands. It seems like we've seen a lot of stars that in the past several months either get severely injured or lose their life. Everyone knows about Kobe and Mr. Andretti, and then Ryan Newman has that scary wreck.
Antoine Hubert in F3 last year at Spa.
Yeah, I would have never known that. But for those that have watched the open wheel, it's just been so much that has happened. So for Newman to walk out of that hospital like that, kudos to him. I think that's great, and we hope to see him on the track soon. I know his family can have a sigh of relief, and life can start getting back to normal for that family. So it's great that he's able to do that. So we just had to put that out there. Obviously, because that means a lot. That means a lot, I'm sure. So let's get into breaking news for KMR. Breaking news, we have a new official. Everyone knows Speedy's last race was Talladega. He is now out of the series. And so the league has chosen Fractured Chain, who's up here with us, to reassume that leadership role, that official role, being behind Paintbrush. So it'll be myself, Paint, and then Fracture will back Paint up, and he'll take over some of that leadership role. So we're great to have Fracture back, and obviously Fracture has been an official before, so he can fall right in line and pick up where we left off at. So in saying that, for all the respect that you guys that run the league, they're listening in, the respect and everything that you give to me, please by all means give that to Paintbrush, give that to Fractured, because they are officials and they work hard, so that you guys don't have to, so that you guys can just get on the race. So we appreciate the respect being given to them as well, and if it is not, then there will be consequences of that. So thank you very much for attention to that. Also, on the breaking news, Hair Bear is going to miss 2 weeks of racing. That is X and Cup Series. Word in last night. And so we'll talk about this a little bit later on, because it directly affects the X Series in particular. And then we'll talk about how that's going to affect his chase in the Cup Series. And also breaking news, at the end of the regular season, all the team points tallied up, obviously, for the Cup Series. Congratulations, SHR, for the 3rd straight season. They have been the best team, gotten the most team points, and have capped it off with a team points win. It's been an awesome run. And so we're going to start there with just brief comments, Fractured, on your thoughts about what SHR has been able to accomplish over these past 3 seasons, as they again win the team points award, and we'll start with plus 50 team points next season.
Well, the rivalries seems to always get the best of everybody. There's always been controversy around that topic, but as I've said a couple speed reports ago, you can't really deny the fact that they have been dominant. Yet another season where, look at the top 5 in points. Only one driver is not SHR, and that's Cookie, and it could be top 5, but it's not. But it's truly amazing. They won by 600 points. That's really tough to do in KMR. So these last 3 seasons have been amazing for SHR, and definitely they once again are coming in to be the favorite to win the championship this season. It wouldn't be a surprise to me if they did win it, but challengers do approach, but we'll see. But yeah, it's been amazing how they've been able to maneuver and be really consistent the last 3 drivers, or the last 3 seasons, as well as the improvement that we've seen from some of them, such as Zesty, Dopey, Amari Payne. Really, everybody in that team has improved. But it's been amazing how they've been able to control the league so far. And yeah, next season we'll see if they can do it again. I would say they probably can, but we'll just have to see how everything goes. But congrats to them on the Team Points Championship for yet another great season.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I would say the same thing. Paint briefly your thoughts, real quick, on what SHR has been able to do.
Well, winning a championship last season with under the name SHR, was pretty cool. Um, they do have some fast cars, I can tell you that. And when they all decide to work together as a team, it's pretty cool to see them work together. But then there's sometimes they like to bicker and argue, but that's a different story. But it's pretty cool to see them on top for 3 seasons in a row, and maybe they'll keep their championships going. But I guess we'll have to wait to see.
Yeah, that part is up in the air. Obviously, we know anything can happen in racing. That's why we race. So we'll keep an eye on that. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with our truck series, because in our truck series, we're gonna play a game.
Oh boy!
And the reason why we're playing a game is because if you look at the points for this series on the official website, thegamingrift.com, you pull it up, you go to trucks, you scroll down, and you look at those points. Obviously, Wesley has already 2 wins. He's dominated the chase so far as they head into Michigan, which is an elimination race. He's in excellent shape. I forgot about this, but this battle between the 54 that you see on the screen right now and Terrier in the 09 has gotten really hot. Terrier has actually jumped ahead of Foreign. And so what does this mean? Well, it could either go a couple ways. Either West can win another race, and then it will be the next 2 in points, in which you look at the gap there between Foreign and Woozy is a pretty substantial gap. So that's your top 3 headed into the championship round. Or somebody from the bottom of this chase map, in the top 6, could win, and now the next one down in the points would have a chance to advance, which with a 4-point or a 6-point gap there could be either one of these drivers. So who's most desperate? Wool Tortoise at the very bottom, Pennzoil, or Woozy, which are both tied in points, trying to get in, headed into Michigan.
I think it's a pretty easy decision on who's most in trouble. It's definitely Wool Tortoise. Woozy and Pennzoil are tied at 65 right now. Pennzoil is kind of shocking to me that he's in 5th place right now. I thought he'd be high, good little man. I thought he'd be
Yeah,
up
there you go.
second right now, but he isn't. And it's been a really disappointing start to the chase for him. But Wool Tortoise is 16 points right now. That is immediate signs of danger. Like, yeah, there's not much that you can do right there other than win. He's got to win right now. And can he do it? I think he can, but it's going to be tough. So easily right now, when you're 16 points away from, you've got 16 points, 65 for the guys in front of you, you're in a ton of trouble. So Wool's definitely in the most trouble right now.
I agree. I feel like if Wool can get a win, I feel like Foreign's gonna have to come out and beat Terrier so he can get himself in the final round. Because I honestly would like to see Foreign pull it off, win the championship. But Will Torres has a big comeback that he needs to do. He's in a must-win situation.
He has not performed well at all in this chase. Not there at Talladega, and definitely not at Canadian Tire where he had that tragic DNF. So he's gonna have to pull a rabbit out of the hat, and it's gonna be tough. All right, if you look down there at the bottom of the point standings, at the very bottom, of course, all these drivers are eliminated. But you look at that hot seat. You got Zach Attack, who's able to get some call-up points and run that race in that number 17 truck. And it was awesome to see him on the track. Obviously, these drivers that are down here at the bottom, they're chomping at the bit to try to get themselves into the series to advance if you're Zach Attack. So this was good running for him. But also you've got Mixer, you've got Tons, you got Treshawn, you got Lawden. They're obviously all tied down here, and if having a good race, could see themselves move up into the top 10. Out of the drivers mentioned, this battle down here at the bottom between really Treshawn, Tons, Dale Jr. fan, Zach Attack. They're locked in. Well, Treshawn and Tons are into the X series, but they're still hot seats themselves. So really, they're fighting for seat time in either way. Who's most desperate out of this group to get seat time and be able to keep it headed into the remaining part of this season, starting at Michigan?
We're talking 11th through 15th, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, 10. You can include 10 because that starts the battle there. Yeah.
Well, I ain't worried about Zach Attack, but I'm worried about Dale Jr. fan getting seat time because, as I heard before he ended up joining the league, that he was pretty good, and, well, all signs have indicated he is not. So he needs to put a lot of laps in, and he's got to figure something out because all signs have indicated that he is not competitive whatsoever. And if he's going to move up through the ranks of KMR, he's got to get laps, and he has to get way faster than he is right now. So if right now, I'm saying Dale Jr. fans the biggest risk right now. He's got to show up. He's got to put laps in. He's got to get faster because this kind of speed's just not going to cut it if he's going to try and move up the ranks, let's be honest. So right now, I think Dale Jr. fan, you got to get some laps in, or else you're going to be in a lot more danger than you are.
Yeah, I mean, no, Dale Jr. fan really is a character of his own. But I definitely see someone like the 12th place, the Ice Kid. If he can get some more seat time and more experience running with the middle people, he can definitely show some speed and get locked into the Xfinity series. And I haven't really got the race with Tons Fun, Trayshawn. I haven't really heard of him because I haven't really been around the run the Xfinity or trucks. But if they get some seat time, they better use it to the best they can because one day if they get called up for substituting in the cup cars, they're gonna have to know what they're doing and not just take out the field or something. They got to learn the ropes.
Their goal is to get through the series. Tons, Treshawn, even in the X series, very few races ran, and really it just shows first off just how good the attendance has been, but second it shows that it's tough out there to gain points and to get themselves in, and obviously there are no call-up points if there's no wheels on the ground running in this series. So we're going to see these featured in both the trucks and X series next season. So we'll keep an eye on them, and definitely who's going to stand out of this group next season. Definitely we'll see who's most desperate starting at Michigan. Remember, guys, our viewers out there, that the chat is always open, so you guys can message us Leave comments below. We will consider them as we go through our show today, and we'll entertain any questions or comments that you guys have. All right. We told you about Hair Bear missing the 2 races. This takes us to our X series, because this is where it's going to file in or affect the X series the most. If you look at the points in our X series, y'all hear that in the background?
No.
If you look at the points here,
I just like the point.
yeah, yeah. If you look at the points here, guys, the cap to start the chase is 500 for the X Series. The first place driver has 498 points. That would be Air Bear. 105 points back is Beloved. 118 points back is Pennzoil. This literally means that Beloved, in order to challenge Hair Bear for supremacy up top the series and to push the series into the chase, Beloved would have to win. A win is 65 points, and he would also have to lead some laps and get the most laps led in order to get maximum points. And then at that note, he would still have to run another race just to be able to push the series into the chase. Guys, realistically speaking, first off, how many regular season races is the X Series going to be running before the chase?
Let's just say we're advancing the chase. Daytona night will be our first chase race. So I think, I was just laughing because of how funny it is that Hair Bear is going to make us wait. He's going to stay 2 points away from sending us into the chase. He's just going to be like, nah, I'm good. I'm going to take a couple weeks off. I'll sit here at 2 points, make y'all race, form up a couple rivalries. I think while it may not be his intention, I think it's honestly a good strategy of his, because while he's gone, he's going to have no chance of forming a rivalry or something like that with somebody. Whereas the guys from, I would say, let's look from really 13th on up in that battle for the chase spot, those guys are going to be racing each other really hard. They're going to form rivalries. So I think, although may not be intended, it's a great strategy by Hair Bear to do, just to make these guys get the tensions a little higher. Make every other race count. And yeah, I just think it's a really funny thing that's going on, especially since it's 2 points away. But yeah, I think that's big for Hair Bear. Or that's really big for the league, especially guys like Dale and Dale Woozy, Wolfpack, JV Ice. Those guys. They need more races. So yeah, I just think it's funny that it's a 2 point. He's just gonna sit there, let these guys wreck each other, and then he'll come back and we'll go to the chase at probably Daytona.
Paint, what's your thoughts on what Hair Bear is doing, and how this is going to affect the league here?
Well, I was gonna say, have someone just get us up, race a lap, call it a day. Just lag out, or just something. Race in the back, start in par. I don't know. He's taking some time away. He's gonna be partying while the other drivers will be beating and banging each other, throwing each other into the catch fences. He's just gonna be relaxing, and as soon as he comes back, he's like, okay, it's chase time. And then Hair Bear's gonna be the one that's just gonna be like, okay, I'm the one that controls this.
Yeah, and when we talked about this, and he messaged me and he said, hey, yeah, I'm gonna be gone the next couple races. The first thing I did was like you guys. I honestly laughed. I thought it was funny. But then I thought about it. Look at where the championship race would be if he were to come to Michigan, okay? Atlanta would start the chase. You count, there are 3 rounds of 3 races. So Atlanta, Sonoma, Daytona, ISM, Bristol, Michigan, Richmond, Kentucky. Championship race is at Road America. So honestly, it would be in his best interest to push it back. And if it's just me, in my opinion, I push it back all the way to either Talladega or Homestead.
I agree. But here's my thing where to contradict that. Beloved can't control it, or Hairbear can't control what Beloved does. If Beloved, I'm sure, is not really looking down the road, looking at which race the chase is going to start. Beloved's probably just thinking about, I want to go to the chase, period. But, I mean, if I'm Hairbear, Road America, especially for Hairbear, is not the place I want to go to the championship race, especially when you have competition such as Amari, and people like that are well-rounded road course racers. So, if I'm Hairbear, I think I'm taking a bit more than your 2-week stay here. I think I'm taking a bit longer, and then I'm going to get in the meeting booth with Beloved and be like, "Hey, buddy, you should take a little break here. Let's not send this." Let's not send the championship race to Road America, shall we?
Yeah, that's true. But, at the same time, Beloved, even if he were to win, he ain't going to send the series in the chase. So at the very least, your championship race is going to be Gateway. And the reason why I say push it to Talladega or Homestead, at least you're familiar with it. Big track, draft track, and, to some degree, you can control your own destiny at those tracks. You go to Gateway. We don't typically go to Gateway, so really you're kind of rolling the dice in a way. And then at the same time, also, you go to Bristol, and it's going to be a giant wreck fest. And you could honestly get wrecked out, and that would be bad as well.
I mean, 50-50.
Yeah. It definitely 50-50, but I tell you, why roll the dice when I can just, go to Talladega or Homestead and just go out there and have a sensible race about this thing. Either way, we do know that the championship race, if he were to miss the 2 races, Michigan, Atlanta, we're starting at Sonoma. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're talking Bristol night would be championship night. So I'd say one more day, Beloved, take a vacation, spend time with your dogs and your wife, and we'll eat some popcorn and watch the fireworks, and then we'll go back the next week and have some fun. Anyway, so
2 points, man.
2 points, and we're sitting here on a cliff. It's like a really bad cliffhanger, and you're just sitting there like you can't wait. And then they go out there and say, "Okay, we're not gonna make this show anymore. It's over." True story. If anyone out there that likes sci-fi, Dark Matter is an awesome show until they canceled it with a giant cliffhanger. I could have reached through the TV at that moment when I realized they were not making any more episodes because I wanted to know so bad what was going to happen
KMR,
next.
not your soap opera.
Sorry. It's not a soap opera fracture. Okay, anyway.
Minus 900.
Looking at the chat, someone likes soap opera because they're out here looking at it. Looking at the chat here, Speedy, what's up, man?
Hey,
Speedy said that
Speedy.
he agrees with myself, making the championship particular track where you're familiar with him. And I definitely, with Hair Bear, we know horror stories like Indianapolis. You definitely want to go somewhere where you don't, or you don't want to have things like that. Okay. Before we play our Who's Most Desperate game, obviously we look through here. I tell you, Foreign Whip can't get the monkey off his back. But the true story is this battle that's going on between positions 8 through 12, really. 8 through 12 position battle is just off the charts. Now, what makes this unique is that Hindu, as hot as he has been lately, Hindu's win will not carry him into the chase due to attendance. He needs to be in the top 10 or top 9. He's in 8th. Who's most desperate out of from 8th to basically 12th. I don't know. 13th, I guess you could include 13th, but he's back by a ton. Who would be most desperate in your eyes, guys, between these three?
I think it's really tough to call. I'm gonna go with JV Ice as it may become a surprise. I said if he shows up, he's going to be dangerous. However, he's not showing up. The path is straight ahead of me. He had an amazing race. Last time I was in the speed report, he had an amazing race coming off at ISM, and now he's way back again. So once again, he has momentum, and he cuts off by not racing. So with that being said, he is now realistically way. I think there are a couple more races left, but I don't see him showing up. So I'm immediately saying, well, he's definitely the most desperate at this point in time.
And definitely, I mean, the if he were to win, attendance would become an issue, and obviously not having enough team points, not team points, excuse me, call up points to get himself into the Cup Series. So now we know he's going to be in the X Series next season if he chooses to run KMR. I mean, a lot of things that he could have foregone this season to make this thing interesting. Definitely has the talent. Paint, if you're there, who is most desperate out of this bottom half of the field here?
What between what positions?
Position 8 to position 13.
I'm gonna say Hindu, just because Ford Alliance, he's a friend to me. But not just that. I feel like every time I'm watching one of these races, I see him in the front. He's like a whole different animal from him in the Cup Series. It's like in the X Series, he's like the Nightfall, and then you come to the Cup Series and it's like different. But I feel like he's gonna make chase. These next few weeks are gonna be really important for him to get good finishes and try to get a couple more wins and move up, because he's really not that far off Terrier if he has a few good races, and Terrier doesn't. I guess it all depends on ifs and whats. I guess we're gonna have to wait and see.
Guys, I want your opinion on this. And either one of you guys could start first. Who's been the surprise driver in the X Series for you guys? Compared to when we came in at Auto Club. We can't even say Daytona because didn't nobody show up to Daytona. But Auto Club, from starting with Auto Club forward, as these drivers start to roll in, who's been the biggest surprise?
I'll start. I'm gonna go with Beloved, just because he's sitting in second in points. He's really not that far off Hairbear if you really think about it. And you see people like Amari, Wool Tortoise, Hindu, the Foreign Whip too. He's a monster in the making. I feel like he's the next Nightfall. But Beloved, he's put on a show in the X Series. Me personally, I want to see him sitting in second, but he's shown that he has speed in the Xfinity cars to put himself in that place.
Fractured, your thoughts out there?
Possibly some technical difficulties on his end.
Yep, I would say technical difficulties. And while I see if I can get our broadcaster back in here, let's see. And while we try to get him back in, we obviously had some technical difficulties. And as I'm speaking, he pops right back.
I had to talk to my dad, and I guess I just got disconnected from the party.
No problem, boss.
What were we talking about?
Who has been the biggest surprise to you in the X Series this season. I mean, if you look back at, I'm not looking back at Daytona because there wasn't enough people, but we look back at Auto Club, from Auto Club forward as drivers start to roll in. Who's been the biggest surprise to you over this season?
Oh, you tell me at this point in the season, Hair Bear is going to be leading the points. I'm going to say no. If you tell me that at the start of the season, I'm going to say no. So I'm going to go with Hair Bear. Hair Bear has, although may only having one win, the consistency is still there. It's amazing how he has done this X Series this season, especially finally getting a KMR Series win, which is something that's been haunting him for a little while now. And that's something that he needed on his resume. So Hair Bear, the fact that he's been able to put up his consistent numbers has just truly been amazing and really surprising. So Hair Bear's definitely the guy that I'm the most surprised with so far this season.
All right. I'm pretty sure Speedy will drop a comment soon. Here's what Speedy said about our last segment, talking about who's most desperate. Speedy said he agrees with Hindu because he needs to start showing up in racing or he's not going to make it. He has a win, but he hasn't showed up for it to matter, so he needs to show up to get the points, to get in with points. Hindu definitely sitting there in 8th place, but it's not over. It is not over, so we're going to have to keep a close eye on that. But back to the most surprising driver. I'm going to tell you something. If you told me coming in that Terrier was going to be in the chase
something out
and in second place in the trucks, from the performance, because he was here from the very beginning, from his performance at Daytona, in the truck series, and you'd have told me, hey, he's going to be battling for a champion, a possibility to move into that top 3 and battle for a championship, I'd have been like, Terrier? Nah. And then if you'd have told me that he'd be 7th after having to fight his way into the chase in the X Series with a consistent group of 13 drivers, I'd have been like, nah. Terrier? Nah. But I'm going to tell you something. Terrier has really surprised me. And I know we see the talent of Foreign, and obviously Amari and Hindu have really taken off, and Hair Bear's been so consistent, a great improvement. Let me tell you something. With Hair Bear, to me, that was expected because Hair Bear's been growing in consistency, and he's been in the Cup Series for a while, and he's been able to get himself in when he's been in the qualifier. I knew the talent was there for Hair Bear. Beloved, you've been in the Cup Series for how long? You better be doing this. I mean, if you're not doing this, you're scrubbed out in the Truck Series. If you ain't doing this in the X Series, you might be stuck in the X Series for a while. So I expected him to do that. Good for him. Some of these rookies, you see them from the very get-go. You recognize their talent. But Terrier, even at the road courses, he's done halfway decent, been able to bring cars home. He's subbed in the Cup Series and hadn't been a scrub. Like, he's actually subbed and actually got people points. He's done really good. He's been really consistent, and he's progressed from Daytona till now. He's faster, he's more consistent, and he's gone from running mid-pack to challenging Wes for a win in the trucks. He's been running in the rear to challenging Amari and Hindu in the X Series. I'm gonna tell you something. When he gets his cup, he already has his cup ride. I think next season we're gonna see a full effect of the growth of Terrier, and I'm gonna tell you it's gonna be something. I look forward to it. I think Terrier's definitely proved that. And let's see what our Speedy. A part of the Speed crew here. There you go. His analysis. He says, I would say Hair Bear. He's been showing really good speed and got himself a win. He shows up when he has to. I know he has the talent and chance to take the title. I thought he'd be going for a top 3, not the win. But after seeing his speed and consistency, I feel he has a very good chance of winning the title. As from our expert, obviously would be here on the Speed Report if he could, but he is here in the chat. And guys watching in the chat besides Speedy, if you have anything you know asking in the chat, asking Speedy, because he's taking the analytic role now because he can't be actually on the track, by all means ask him a question and he can definitely reply there in the chat, and obviously we'll read his comments.
Pro Swift driver.
There you go. All right, well, X Series should be interesting. Obviously, they're at Michigan. We'll keep an eye on them. Now let's move to the section that you guys have been honestly waiting for, probably since the speed report started. The Cup Series heads to Michigan. It will actually start the chase. No, SHR did not decide to do what Hair Bear decided to do. They decided to push on, and we are now in the chase. So first off, let's go through our chase races real quick. The format for the Cup Series, 6-4-2. So our first round will see Michigan, Atlanta, Sonoma, Daytona, ISM, Bristol being an elimination race. In our round of 6, Michigan, Richmond, Kentucky, Road America will be the elimination race for the round of 6. And then our last 2 races will bring Bristol being the championship race. So Gateway Bristol for the Cup Series. And so let's get you down here with some analysis of our Cup Series. We first start with our drivers that were eliminated. We're not even going to talk about what happened well, maybe we can have a word or two. Fractured, when you saw your name down there at that standings, really, it's been a tough season, up and down season. What do you think is you need to improve on the most? How do you look at the rest of this regular season?
I mean, I'm not really. I mean, obviously, my competitive side is saying I'm extremely disappointed, but I myself am not surprised that this is what happened. Honestly, the season caught up with me at a really bad time. The season started around deer hunting. I'm not home on the weekends as much in this time of the year, and that's been a really big part. I haven't had the time to put in to try and get faster on the game. I haven't had the time to, really figure anything out. I'm not here to try to make excuses or whatever, but the season caught me in a really bad spot. I think I've gotten better throughout the year. It caught me in a really, really, really bad spot. And when I saw that I wasn't in the chase, I wasn't really surprised, if I'm totally honest with you. I wasn't surprised at all. I just kind of was like, it doesn't surprise. I'll just try and help somebody else win the championship. We'll just see how it goes. But, obviously it's disappointing for my competitive side. But, next season I think it has a lot more opportunity for me to be better, simply because I got more time to practice, learn the cars, and, we'll have a Forza 7 race. So that'll be one that I'll eye up for next season. But we'll just have to see how it all works out. And, we'll just try to have fun these last couple races. Obviously now I'm an official. Got another, the third official, but I got another thing to look at now. So we'll just see how everything goes, and see how it is. I know it's a surprise to see me down here. I'm surprised as well, but hey, stuff happens.
Hey, do you remember the last time you didn't make a chase?
I think I've made every chase that I've ran in.
Your rookie season.
Oh yeah, the
your
one race
rookie
that I ran,
season
I ripped the whole field
was the last time.
Yeah.
The one where I went to your hauler and said, "Look, you fortunate you a rookie." Yeah, that was the last time you have missed a chase. So if we were to put that in perspective, you made 39 chases.
Not bad. Not a bad record to have.
It's not bad at all. I think you deserve to take a little break. Yeah. Take a break.
I mean, I missed last season's chase. So, I mean,
Well, yeah, that's true. So, actually, 2 back-to-back. Well, that doesn't count because you weren't really in. So, but still, 38. 38 out of 40 is not bad.
It's the scrub Speedy's fault. That's what I heard it is.
Yeah, Speedy, you're in here, so we got to say something. Ladies and gentlemen, Speedy has been able to join us. I don't know whether you can hear him. Be sure to include your audio if you can. Obviously, I know you'll be there in the chat.
He said he agrees with me. If you can't hear him, guys, he agrees totally. It's his fault.
So anyway, all right. So Fractured. Now again, how do you approach the rest of this? Because obviously your season's not over.
No.
In KMR, after someone's eliminated from the first 2 rounds, there's a battle for the top 10. Nobody wants to run the qualifier, and the qualifier is going to be so different this season because obviously you have the call-up drivers. They're obviously not in the chase. So they're going to definitely be in the qualifier. You got people who are returning. You've got the what's left over of the call up list that's going to be in that qualifier. You don't want to be there. How does it change? How does the rest of the season change for you as you eyeball next season?
Well, myself as a guy that's been in the league for a while, I've kind of learned to look at the big picture a lot more. Now, I may not be fighting for the championship, which is the ultimate goal, but I'm fighting for next season. I don't want to go to the qualifier. Will I? Yeah, I will. And will I have an issue making it through? I don't really think so. But we'll just have to see how everything goes. I'm not necessarily that worried. I think once some of these guys start to get eliminated from the chase, I think I'll be able to outperform them on the racetrack, especially now that we're starting to get into a more friendlier part of my own schedule. And, Michigan, Talladega, those races or not Talladega, but Michigan being up, I've won there multiple times. So, I should be able to make more of the races, should be able to do a lot more. So, I'm really excited for the chase, even though I may not be fighting for a championship. I can help people try and win the championship, though. So we'll just have to see how everything goes. We'll just approach it how we approach every other race. Just take it one race at a time. We'll see where we're at by the end of this season.
Okay. Definitely. Nice. Well said. We'll get back to you in a minute as far as that's concerned.
Just don't interview
Obviously,
Speedy on my, point what I did.
Obviously, no surprise there as far as, beloved Terrier. Obviously, we said, these guys that came in that were call-ups, they were not going to be in the chase. Scotty, West, Pennzoil, they're obviously hot seats. So these guys, they're eyeballing next season. They're also eyeballing the top 10. They can still have an opportunity to make the top 10. They're going to have to drive their tails off, but they have an opportunity to make it, and we'll see if they are able to do so. So now let's get you into this quick analysis of your top 12, and we're going to start with the driver who is sitting in 12th place right now, the driver, the number 14, Nightfall. Without getting into a large detail as to why Nightfall is sitting 12th and not up in second place, his wins were encumbered, and he was hit with a severe penalty due to a points penalty due to a discrepancy at Talladega. So, with all that being said, guys, your analysis on what Nightfall needs to do as this chase advances to get to himself to the ultimate goal, which is to get back to that Final Four and have a shot to win a title.
Well, the short answer is win. The long answer is win. So, all he's got to do, in my opinion, is win, and he will be fine. That's something that he's done well as well. He has won a lot of races, especially come chase time. So, am I even counting him out remotely? No. Is it a sketchy place to be in, and can it toy with you? Oh, for sure. But if he wins, it's not going to shock me any. Now, if he wins, he's also going to have to show up to meet that threshold for participation. So we'll see if he does that too. But I think all he's got to do is win, which he has proven this season, especially that it's he's been able to do it. So we'll just see how everything goes. And if he doesn't win, though, he's going to be in a really, really sketchy spot points wise, especially now that the points are a lot more bunched up. So we'll see how everything goes. I don't have a worry just yet, but I think there could be a problem if he doesn't have a win coming towards those last 2-3 races of the round. I think then there's going to be some probable cause for discussion on that. But right now, I'm not very what's the word? I'm not very worried about it.
Speedy, you just got here. What's your expert analysis on the predicament that the 14 puts himself in? Yeah, good point, Speedy, and that was my thought. With those penalties, it's equivalent to your star player in basketball getting two quick fouls in the first quarter, in the
We
first
don't know what
couple
you're talking about.
minutes. Yeah, well, Speedy, it's okay. And having to sit down on the bench, and then when he comes in, he cannot be as aggressive because then he gets hit with another foul, and he's back on the bench. Essentially, he's negated, and the nature of his penalty is not something that is going to roll off next season. It's going to carry with him, and he has to make sure, as you said, Speedy, nothing happens that would incite anything close to what happened beforehand to help him, to cause him to get this penalty, because next time the results are going to be a lot more stiff if it's in the nature of the penalty, that the nature of what caused him to get this initial penalty. So really tough predicament. Paintbrush, what's your thoughts on the 14? Obviously you battled with him and you've teamed with him. So from both perspectives, what's he got to do to make sure that he can get himself where he needs to be come championship time?
Pretty much just show up and race. I mean, he's a top three fast car, um, top two at sometimes. But all he has to do is just get a win. A win each round can lock him in, pretty much. Um, he just has to put his head down and just race and not get involved with things. But on the teammate side, I'm sure he's gonna ask us forwards for help, and I guess once it comes down to the last round, if so, there's gonna be no more teammates. But I'm sure for the first couple of rounds, we're sure to help him get up there where he needs to be.
All right. Um, real quick, Speedy, be sure to check your audio there. Those in the chat that said they can't hear you. So just double check it, make sure it might be something on there, and All right, move on. Number 11, pretty strong season. Got him a win early. He did make the attendance cutoff, so the win counted, and that's really what eliminated someone in particular out of that. Is that that win, eliminating Fracture, getting himself in. Hindu Paint, that's directly your teammate. So I'll start with you.
All right.
And that number 99, how's he looking, and what do you think he needs to do to advance through the playoffs?
Well, ever since that, I added him to my team unexpectedly. He came
Forced on the team.
came in. I told him, listen, you're cool and all, but I mean, if you're gonna come race on my team, you have to make every race. I'm not gonna let somebody just join my team and not race. So we got him hooked up. We have him on the paintbrush powers, or we're not SHR power, we're paintbrush powers over here. We got him over there. I think he got a win if I'm not mistaken. You know, he's fast. He's fast, but he just gets caught up in the wrong things at the wrong time, or he's basically like, what I'm trying to say is, like, he can be consistent at times, but at times he can just run in the back and he can't find a way up to the front. But the chase, me and him are gonna work on some things over these next couple of weeks. We're gonna get some calls going, some teamwork, and I wouldn't be surprised if you don't see that 99 car in the top. I'm gonna say on the long run he's gonna make the top 6, but that's if he makes all the races and he can run up front.
Paint, what's your thoughts about the progress of the 99 and his shot at advancing through the playoffs? Oh, I'm sorry, Fractured. Did I say Paint?
Yeah.
My bad. Fractured.
The 99 obviously, with the shocking run, to end up making it. If he shows up, I think there is definitely that possibility that he can fight for a top 6. Do I believe he will? No. I I just think there's better candidates to run for that top 6 than him right now. So, yeah, right now, I just can't say with confidence that I can put him in that conversation, but we'll see if he shows up. He's proven to have that speed to fight for the top 6. Well, I mean, I've been wrong before, and in this case, I could be wrong, but we'll just have to see how everything goes down.
You may be wrong, but you doubt it. Okay. Speedy, you there? What's your thoughts on the 99's abilities to advance through the playoffs this season? Obviously, really his first full season and he's been able to get a win. He's been able to fight with the big dogs up front. Does he have a chance? Hindu. He is going to have his work cut out for him on what will be his first chase in the Cup Series in KMR. His first chase ever in KMR, actually. All right, Fractured, I said we'd get back to you. So let's get back to you. Right now you're on JGR, and your teammate, the 11, is sitting here in 10th place. When we first started, is this what you pictured for JP? Or did you think that he was going to be outside of the chase looking in, or did you think he was going to be up higher?
Well,
What's your thoughts on JP?
everybody, my goal at the start of the season was everybody's going to make the chase, and conveniently, I was the one that didn't. So blah 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 on that. I thought JP would be hauling in second in our team in the points or in the chase at this point. He is not. Instead, Dale Jr. outperformed a lot what I thought he would do this season. I think he did well. Obviously, didn't make a lot of, most of the races, but he did well in the race. He got a third place at Watkins Glen. He did a very good job there. Slothy has, at the start of the season, it looked promising, but then he decided that worrying about Nightfall and, Nightfall only was more important than worrying about his own situation. But, blah, blah, blah there, I guess. But, I expected him to make the chase. Did I think he'd be third? No, I thought he'd be second in the line. Honestly, I thought he'd be Slothy, but it happens, I guess. He made the chase. I think that's the most important part. He had one of those regular seasons where we don't know if he's going to make it or not. Coming down the stretch there, he did end up making it. So, good on him, but we'll just see how the chase goes now. JP has struggled in the past when it comes to being in the chase, so we'll see how everything goes. But yeah, he definitely, my expectation was he was going to make the chase, and he did make the chase, so I'm proud of him for that.
So now, as a teammate, what do you have to do to help him in his road on his road to success in the postseason?
Well, looking on the postseason, we got Michigan, a track that is, big and requires draft, and we've seen help be big at Michigan to have teammates with. So I mean, it's going to be big for myself and the other teammates to work together at the start of the chase. Daytona is also there. You see Daytona, that's going to be big for drafting. He's going to need the help there. We're going to have Michigan again. And I believe the championship race is going to be at Gateway and Road America. I think those are the last two, right?
Gateway Bristol.
Gateway Bristol, yeah. So those two races will be interesting. But I got to do everything in my power to help my teammates, and we'll just see where everything rounds up there at the end. So I think it'll be a fun challenge, and we'll see how everything works out in the end. But I'm not going to underestimate the how well that 18 car has performed this season. If he would get out of his head that worrying about himself is more important than worrying about what Nightfall is doing, I think he could be a real championship contender. But we'll just have to see how it all works out, and hopefully in the end it works out well.
Paint. Where do you
Yep.
see the 11 falling in as the chase progresses?
In my opinion, he's gonna get knocked out the first round. Just because he's not consistent. He has some technical difficulties every once in a while, and also I just don't know what to say. Just to keep it. I don't want to just full out start going off, but I just feel like he needs to just start racing and just like keep his mouth shut and stop getting overworked over himself and start like hating on himself or not doing good for like a lap. It's like the second lap and he's already complaining that he fell to the back. It's like just like
Dude,
put
please.
put your head down and just race the race.
Head
You never
down,
know what
Lewis.
can happen.
Yeah, absolutely. That's been an ongoing issue. He gets in his own way, and a lot of times to his own detriment, very, very quickly. All right, moving up to ninth place, and an expected, unexpected, if you will. Ghost Train looking solid through the stretch run here. He had some moments where it looked like Ghost was in trouble. I know y'all see a 27. It just pretend like there's an 09
There's a
there, okay?
27 there.
Anyway.
It's impossible to
But anyway, it looked for a second like, he was running into some big trouble. Why? Because he was having electronic issue after electronic issue after electronic issue that was taking him out of races. But whenever he is able to finish races, he finishes generally in the top 3 to 5. How big of a title contender is Ghost Train going to be? Assuming that he has no more electronic issues, how big of a title contender is he going to be, Speedy, in this postseason? That's right, Fractured. What are your thoughts on Ghost Train's title contention hopes this season?
Well, although I have endorsed somebody else for the champion, if his internet if his internet stays afloat and his connection holds up, I'm serious when I say this. He's making the final four. I think I know that for a fact, honestly, because he has been literally the only one on some of these tracks to be able to compete with the Fords. That says something. We have also ripped on him many times where he can't do well on NASCAR Heat. Well, guess what? He's finally doing well on NASCAR Heat. And when I say doing well, he's doing amazing on NASCAR Heat for right now. So when it comes to Ghost Train, I have nothing but confidence in him right now with how he's done this season. It has been amazing to see when his internet holds up how well he can do. So if his internet holds up for a lot of these races, he's making the final four in my books, and I think he may win a race.
We'll definitely keep an eye on Ghost Train. He's been here before. He is a series champion. So we'll see if he can back that up with getting a championship, and as you stated, on in a schedule where there are hardly any road courses, and they're all on Heat 4. He is making it work. So kudos to him. He's had a really good season so far. It's a good job sticking with it. And the benefits or the fruitage of that is he's in the top 12 and in the chase. Is sitting in ninth place. We'll couple these two together, Dale Jr. and Slothy. Again, Fracture, they're your teammates, man. How would you grade their seasons, and what do they have to do in the postseason to get themselves to surprise the upper group and get themselves in the top 6?
Well, with Dale, I think I grade him with a B plus. I didn't expect nearly as much out of him this season, and he's just completely shocked me. This has been one of those years. Dale has been excited to run. Finally has a schedule that works with him, and he's been extremely excited to run. So with that being said, I give him a straight B plus. Now everything has not been cherries and roses, but it's been well for him. So Dale gets a B plus. Now what he's got to focus on is not necessarily making the round of 6. I think he's really got to focus on just making himself a cushion so he can make it and lock himself in the next season, so he doesn't have to worry about the qualifier, because we've seen the qualifier get really edgy for Dale before. I don't think, especially with the competition that's about to move up through the league, that he's going to be able to necessarily hold up himself right now, but we'll see. I think he's got to be working at the top 10 and nothing else really. If he makes that top 6, good on him. Even then, he should be worried about other things other than trying to win the championship. So on him with that. Now Sloppy, Jesus, if the man can just hold up and be cordial for himself, he's going to be a championship contender. But as soon as he gets that thought that Nightfall's fast, well, we're going to see him start to say, oh, but Nightfall. Well, guess what, Slothy? Not everything's about Nightfall. So, with that being said, I'm going to grade his performance this season a B-. It could have been better, but it wasn't. Now, he did well. He's, looking pretty well for the start of the chase. However, he has to get himself in, his own mind rather than Nightfall. So, we'll see how that works out for him. But I don't know how that's so. I think he can definitely contend for a championship when he's got his own runs on his mind.
Well, you've seen times when Slothy has been quiet, he has been successful. When Slothy has been vocal, he runs in the back.
Yep.
And so hopefully he'll be able to stay focused on the prize. That's winning a race, one race at a time, and getting himself in a position where he can win a title. It's been a long time since Slothy has won a title. Doing it in the modern era would definitely help him in the future in terms of being one of the greatest in KMR. You can't do that if you are focused on someone else's or anyone else's speed or whatever on the racetrack. Paint. Between Slothy and Dale, which one, who do you think is faster and is most competitive between these two in this series?
Like, who's better out of the two?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go with Slothy, just because Dale's never like really raced this season. He's always had subs, so you really haven't been able to see the true speed out of either or against each other. I just feel like Slothy has more speed because he's in the front sometimes and he's battling with the SHR Fords sometimes, and I just feel like I see him more than I saw Dale when they were together.
Yep. Fair enough. I agree. I would agree with that. And obviously the experience. Dale has been around the league longer. Slothy has a championship. All right. Let's move on to positions 6 and 5th. We'll couple these together. The CMR bunch. CMR was able to hang in there and have a measure of contention for the team points, obviously getting blown away with the rest of the field there. So we were second. We were the second, the first one closest to them, first losers out of that bunch. If you want to quote a Dale Earnhardt Sr. phrase. But these two here, myself, Hair Bear, Speedy. Now that you are, obviously not running now, you can be a little biased and it'd be all right.
No,
How
we
would you
can't.
grade? Yes, he can. How would you grade these two drivers' performance and what shot do they have in the chase compared to their competition? Uh-oh. Let me go.
He won a race! Wow.
Well, I'll tell you what, that real champ ain't been me in quite some time, but I do appreciate that. Uh, thank
Doesn't
you,
get a lot
Speedy.
of kind words.
Yeah, I appreciate that. No, he's absolutely right. The speed has not been there, and yeah, I've had a lot of personal issues, and
We don't talk about
it's been bad. So, fractured, fractured, between Hair Bear and myself. Obviously, you don't run with me. You're not on my team, and you're a Toyota, so you can be
I
absolutely
race around
just.
you in every gosh dang race that we run, though. Always seem to hit
Yeah,
each other in
I got
every
your
wreck. I
paint
could
on
be
every
first,
car
you could be
that I've
90th.
ran at every track.
I could be first, you could be 90th. We'd still find a way to hit each other.
Yeah, definitely. Um, between us, the who's faster and who has the best chance of advancing in the playoffs?
Well, you know, I think the speed is really equal between you and Hair Bear. I think raw speed wise it is. Hair Bear's gonna miss the first 2 weeks though. With that being said, whether he gets a sub or not, he's gonna be in trouble. I think he's gonna be behind the bar on what he's got to be doing focus wise. So automatically, I'm saying you're gonna be the guy to win. And now I have obviously been very biased when it comes to picking you in points races. This is just one of them. Now, obviously, I know you may miss a couple races. Yeah, that could hinder you, but we'll see how that all works out. But I just think that you're more mentally ready for anything to come at you than Hair Bear is. Hair Bear has cracked under the pressure. I mean, you have, but you've also, we've seen, you've been around the league longer. We've seen more of you not cracking under pressure than you have cracking under pressure, if that makes any sense. But, right now I'd say raw speed-wise, it's you. If Hair Bear shows up, I'd be really interested. Or if his internet holds together and he's able to make the rest of the chase race, I'd be really interested to see where he ends up in this points race, especially, he's securing yet another deal with CMR, more stability that he's having when he's performing his best under stability. So we'll see how it all works out in the end. I'm really excited to see how this chase goes for CMR. I think it could, especially without Speedy, we'll see really how they are. But yeah, I like I said, it's going to be interesting to see between Cookie and Herbert how it all pans out.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, I'm definitely interested in seeing how this Michigan goes. This is going to be very, very interesting. But anyway, it's neither here or there. I hope I'm able to make it. Hope I'm able to do something about it. Let's move on to our top four. Amari in the 41 has definitely been a standout this season. He's been on fire in both the X Series and the Cup Series. Paint.
Yo.
Is this the biggest challenge to Nightfall this season?
Who, Amari?
Yeah.
No.
That was pretty quick.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
It's just no hesitation, no nothing.
Yeah.
No. Why do you say that?
Because Swift is faster, Zesty is faster, and I'm faster than him.
Wow. Wow.
Really?
All right.
I don't know about that.
Well, hey, the awesome thing about those comments is we're gonna go to Michigan and we're gonna find out. But I love those comments. Fracture, does he have a point?
Is there a point there? I think I can see what he's trying to get at. Do I agree with it? No, I think Amari, while, we're not, in my opinion, we're not talking about raw speed. We're talking, speed getting throughout the race. It seems like the last 20 laps of every race this season, Amari has taken something, illegal that's banned or something, because he has been incredibly fast. We saw it in, I believe it was the Kentucky. We did go to Kentucky. No, it was the Vegas race, I think, where he pulled away in the last. I mean, it was like a complete. There was a battle between the Fords up front all race. He was nowhere, and then the last 20 laps, he drove away from the field. Or no, it was Iowa. Sorry, it was Iowa. Yeah, it was Iowa. Jeez, but he just drove away from the field. So down the stretch in every race, it seems like Amari. He's just doing amazing. So I'd say Amari's definitely one of the faster guys. Now, is he faster than Nightfall? I don't know about that. Nightfall's been around a bit longer. He kind of knows his way around, so we'll see how that works out. But, I think Amari's done great. Now, Swift gets his points from consistency. That's where he gets it from. Is he fast in some tracks? Yes, he is. He can contend for wins. But then other races, he's kind of that mid-pack guy that can't run up front all the time. Now, don't get me wrong, even the races where he's not up front winning, he's getting in the top 5. But, I think Amari's definitely ready to challenge for that championship this season. And I think this season's his best chance to go get it. I mean, look where he's up. He's 4th in points. This is the highest he's ever started a season in the points. So I'll be anxious to see how that all works out for him.
Yeah. I would say I would agree 100% with you guys. Obviously the reason why being because of his attendance, but also because of really just how the mentality that he has had with this season. And one thing we have seen in the past is, and I don't want to offend anyone in the chat, so obviously please, I'm not saying this to offend anyone. You obviously won the team points 3rd straight season. We know you guys are great at points racing and being a team. We know that. What we have seen in the past is we've seen SHR loyalty take place before our eyes as the season has progressed. And one thing that I know about Amari, at least from what I have seen, is it didn't start that way for the driver of the 41. For the first half of the season, he was in the 2. So he hasn't been on the team, had an off season with the team, been on the team for quite some time, and he looks more driven than the other drivers, especially in situations where some of the other drivers are content with running where they are for the benefit of the entire team. Amari's like, no, I'm sorry, there's a checkered flag there and I'm late, I need to go get it. And he goes out there, and we've seen those dominant performances. Absolutely. So I think that Amari is a huge threat to Nightfall, and he's insidious because he has the flag in his hand. I'm SHR, and I think that'll last a good, I don't know, 5 laps of each elimination round race or championship round race, and then it's gonna be I'm going to win my championship. Goodbye, guys. And I'm curious to see if my thoughts take effect there, and how he approaches this chase, his first ever in the series, with this team. I'm very curious to see what happens. Okay, let's move on. Paint. Um, Paint. Very fast. Third place. How you feeling coming up into the chase, man? This is being a consistent, a great measure of consistency here, and you're our defending champion, man. How you feel coming into this chase?
Um, no, I, I really, I really don't know what to say. I
Don't
feel
really
like
know what to do with your hands.
it's go time now, pretty much. Um, just letting pretty much everyone just have their fair share of time, because once you get a win, you're locked in to the playoffs, and pretty much you're just riding around to the playoffs start. So that's what I did this season. Learned some of these tracks, learned some adjustments, some strategies, and just put it all together into a secret file where
Mm,
some of the
mm,
boards won't get. But
mm.
on that, you know,
I got 3 pennies. Can I open that file up?
if you make it four
I think
pennies, I'll give you.
Cookie's got about 2 pennies, so you might have to cut him a discount.
Oh, I
Uh,
got a gold. I got a gold dollar. What you talking about?
You get that CMR money. The junkyard cars.
Yeah, man.
He sells them. He sells them at thrift shops for $10 a piece.
And there you go. After JGR wrecks the car,
Yeah,
I
but
sell
I mean,
it
I'm
to get
telling
my
you,
money's
every
worth out
time
of
I go
it.
to a thrift shop, I see a speedy race-driven car, DNF, track, whatever it is. I mean, it's just something you see a lot.
Yeah, he's done it so much they make die cast of just wrecked cars. They don't
I
even try to
mean,
make a nice one.
whenever a kid
Wheels
gets the
off
toy,
of it.
whenever a kid gets a toy when they're a little older, they're not asking for like an actual like a orange little small truck. They're asking for a race-driven speedy car. That's what they're asking for.
Anyway, Paint, let me ask you this.
yeah.
How has your perspective and preparation for the chase this season been different from last season when you didn't have a championship?
I mean, it's pretty much still the same because it's a new season. You kind of forget about what happened last season and just focus on the new season that's ahead of you. I mean, it's definitely a different season because a different team. I'm on my own team. Running a team with a member on my team. We're gonna get another one, but plans didn't just fail. Plans failed out. But I feel like it's gonna be a little different, but mostly just all the same. You know, you still have the same teammates, or you want to say they're your teammates, but um, it's just preparation and what you can do in the final laps of a race. It's not what you can do during the race. It's matter what's gonna happen during the final laps, because not to give out any names, but there's one SHR car that likes to take out all the Fords coming to the last lap of races. So yeah.
Y'all need to be nicer to each other. Do you need marriage counseling?
Oh boy.
I think they might.
All right. So, having thrown that out there, obviously you guys on the screen you see a 36. That's not a real number.
Yeah.
He drives a custom car, and I'm not gonna create a
54.
custom car just to be able to have that up there. But anyway, we know who it is. It's a Ford. We got it. Okay. Anyway, so obviously, Paint. Who do you think your biggest competitor is gonna be coming into this championship run here?
I'm gonna have to say Nightfall, or Swift.
Okay. So those guys will definitely You'll be game planning against those guys week after week. Obviously, for sure. Just in my opinion, seeing you run, you'll definitely be in the round of 6. Final 4 so tough because man, it's gonna be so many good drivers this season compared to last season, when you pretty much knew you could lag out of a race and get 5th. So we'll we'll definitely keep an eye on the points. In as regards you're 12 points out of the lead, man. So I believe this is no. I was about to say this is as close as you've been all season, but no, that's not right.
No, I led for a little bit.
Yep, definitely. All right, let's move on to another SHR car, SHR top 2, and the driver of the number 4, Zesty, 6 points out of the lead, and he's chasing his teammate. So Speedy, Zesty there in the 4. I'll tell you what. I'll ask you about Dopey. I won't ask you about Zesty, Speedy. Fractured.
Yeah.
Zesty's there in the 4. Zesty's had a pretty good season. Zesty looks very, very competitive. Is Zesty going to the Final 4?
He's going to the Final 4, yeah, probably. He's going to win the championship now. And then no, probably not. Zesty is one of those, more vocal SHR cars. And because of that, I think that could spark other drivers not really to want to really help him in any way, shape, or form on the racetrack. That's kind of one of those things where he kind of dug himself a bit of a hole. Is he going to make the Final 4? I think he will. Now, when it comes championship time, I really don't see it. Bristol and Gateway, you said? Yeah, Bristol and Gateway are the final 2 races. Yeah, Bristol, I think I can name a couple other drivers that are better than him there, i.e. Nightfall and Swift, and Zach even, I'd say, potentially. But, you look at Gateway especially, I still think Nightfall and Swift are those favorites to win there. I just don't think he's going to win the championship. He's going to make the Final 4. I don't know about the championship, though.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. Yeah, I could think of 1 or 2 reasons to back that up why he may not win that title.
You can make up reasons to say that he could too. It's one of those things. I think.
Okay. Okay. Paint.
Yeah.
You obviously game planning against your competition. Is this someone you circle and star as someone who could sneak up and get you headed into the championship?
All depends on the race. If I know that I'm better than him at a track, then no. But if I know that he's better than me at a track, then I'm gonna have to practice a little bit and make a setup so we can go and try to beat him. But Lime is more of a driver that is good in the beginning of a race. Then he falls to the back, or not the back, falls to like 5th or 6th during the race, and then like he just stays there, and then he gets a lucky caution or so, and then he gets back up there. But that pretty much it all depends on what the race is.
Now, is comparing Zesty's seasons, obviously he's been in the top 3, top 5 on both last season and this season, but comparing his seasons, is he having a better season this season, or was the last season his better season?
I think it's about the same because he's still getting wins and he's still in the chase. He's a high seed. I want to say it's pretty much the same as last season.
Fracture, what do you think about that? Obviously, you were in the broadcast booth last season, so you got to see his runs, and now on the track when you can be. So what do you think about his season this season compared to last season?
Well, last season I thought he dominated a lot more races than this season, which I think shows that the competition's gotten maybe a bit tougher. Zesty's one of those tough guys to predict when it comes to predicting who has a better chance to win between the Fords and everyone else. Um, some days he shows up and he's the fastest car, no doubt. Um, Other times he shows up, he's running fourth, and he's getting shuffled to the back, and he gets upset, and he's making other people mad because he can't get up to the front. And those are the races where you say no, not at all. So it all depends on the kind of testing that we see. It's a very comparable to last season. I think this season is a tad bit better than last season. Maybe not leading as many laps, but yeah, I haven't really seen that big of a difference between the two seasons.
And so we'll see if that difference, that being about the same, whether he can bring that same approach to this chase that he brought last chase. Last season it didn't get it done. We'll see if this season he can turn things around. Surefire lock in though, based on his performance thus far. And then our final driver to talk about tonight, to round out the top 12 in first place, for pretty much second straight season, is Dopey Lion. Last season it was what was it last season?
Swift, Kanye, whatever it was.
Kanye X. There you go. It's Kanye X last season, and then two seasons before that it was Swift Bunny. It's hard to keep up with names nowadays, but anyway, he is number one. He has the number one seed heading into the chase. He looks a lot better this season. He finally got that win. Speedy, is that win going to be the difference this season on him being a top four finalist and him being a champion for the first time?
I think another, just to chime in, I think another big problem that he has is it seems like he thinks that it's just him and the Fords out there a lot of the time, isn't very considerate of the other drivers that may be running up front. And that's been big. I think he underestimates drivers whenever they run up front, and it really gets to him. You can hear it because he races everybody different. He races. I mean, he talks different. I mean, it's kind of one of them things where he needs to get that mindset that there's other drivers out there all the time that he has to race with at times. Now, yeah, sometimes it may just be the Fords up there, but then again, there's also times where guys like Ghost Train West, myself, Speedy are running up front, and it catches them off guard, I think, a little bit. So, yeah. With that being said, it's it's going to be interesting to see how he maneuvers his way through the chase. And I think that loyalty question is he going to stay loyal to SHR if it comes down to a championship race, or what's going to happen there?
Yeah, absolutely. We're gonna pay close attention to what he's been able to do. If he is a threat to win, we saw him win. One of the big things we said, obviously in the off season last season, about him is the fact that we know he has the talent and everything, but you are not going to win a championship and not be able to win a race. Now that he's proven that he can win a race, Is he a bigger threat now for a championship than a season ago, or is it going to be? Is he about the same?
Well, I think the two seasons were incredibly comparable. As I said earlier, I think they were really similar. So I think he's kind of in that same boat as he was last season. I know he had a sub, I think, in the championship race. It was last season. Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, I
I don't think so.
yeah, Mari didn't
He
he?
ran.
I don't remember.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember. I think he had a sub in the championship race though. But yeah, yeah, I don't know. It's tough to say, especially this early in the season. But we'll see how everything works out for him.
All right. Well, that's been our analysis of the top 12 of the chase. Next time we do a major analysis, it'll be for the round of 6 and how everything has progressed thus far. In the meantime, let's wrap things up with a who you got. And we'll start off in the truck series as the series heads to Michigan. Michigan trucks. Who you got winning the pole? Who you got winning the race? Fractured.
Pole is gonna be Wes. I think Terrier's gonna grab himself that first win. I think he's been amazing these last couple races. I think it's finally his time to win that race, and he's gonna be the first driver not named Wes to win in the chase.
Wow, Paint.
I got Bourne winning the pole. I'm gonna have Bourne win the race. He's gonna pull off something miracle.
All right, the monkey will finally get off his back. Speedy, who you got? Speedy, you just know how to
so
kill
useful,
a moment.
buddy. He's so useful.
God, I mean,
He's
just
a
what
Swift driver
use
now,
is
man.
there for expert analysis if you're just not going to give any analysis? That's just not. I don't understand. Anyway, X Series pole winner, race winner.
Pole winner, I'm gonna say it's going to be Amari. I think the race winner, I am going to give to Penzo. I think Penzo's gonna grab himself that one.
We know better than to ask Speedy. So Paint, go ahead.
I'm gonna go with Hindu winning the pole and Amari winning the race.
All right, and then obviously Cup Series pole winner, race winner.
Well, I think the pole is going to go to the 18 car, and there's nothing wrong with having a little bit of confidence in yourself. I'd like to grab myself one. I'm gonna say I'm gonna win in Michigan. You don't
Speedy,
laugh.
you care to give us one? All right. Paint pole winner, race winner.
Pole winner, I'm gonna go with Nightfall, and race winner, I'm going with Hindu.
All right. Well, we'll see if those predictions come true as we prepare for Michigan this weekend. Obviously, you can check the X Series and Truck Series out. Truck Series 6:00 p.m. Saturday Eastern Standard Time. You can catch it live on Jaron Hazen Twitch channel or on KMR TV 105 The Drive, and then at 8:00 p.m. at Michigan, the X Series, same channel.
Also,
And then of course,
the
oh.
KMR exclusive was just posted on the KMR TV 105 The Drive page on the YouTube channel, so you guys are gonna go watch that. It's KMR exclusive with you're one of the Speed crew members, Speedy.
Thanks for bringing that up. And our next KMR exclusive interview will happen in the off season, and we'll try and get Spheric Rope, either Spheric Rope, either Spheric Rope or the White Hammer. We'll try to get either one of those in here for an exclusive interview. And then, of course, you can catch Michigan. It may be live. I don't know what to tell you, except listen for the Speed Report next week as we talk about it. All right. Thank you, Fracture. Thank you, Speedy, for joining us. We're going to miss you, bud. Thank you, Paint. And this has been Sam Cook signing off.